The quiz was good. Yeah, you know all the answers. And we're moving on to the note. I forgot to record the quiz. Oops. All right. So we're going to look at Venn diagrams today. We're going to look at the same things we did yesterday, but how can we represent it in a Venn diagram? So we're going to do it with numbers today, and then we're going to start with the words and other stuff tomorrow. Okay? So like representing people in a class, and like having two Venn diagrams between like social and bio or something. Okay? So here we're going to consider the following two sets, subsets of the universal set of natural numbers less than 20. So we have the universal set, natural numbers less than 20. Natural numbers start at what? What do you naturally count as a toddler? 1. Less than 20, we're going to stop at 19. Please make sure your phones are away. So we're going to go the universal set. We're going to do squiggly bracket, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. You don't include 20 because it doesn't say equal to, right? So make sure you're writing, make sure your phones are not on your desk if you feel the need to touch your phone. Okay. Now we have use the appropriate notation, list the set of whole numbers less than 20 that are. Well, first off, let's list our sets. So we have A. A is the natural numbers less than 20 that are divisible by 3. So what would A have in it? Which of these numbers is divisible by 3? Divisible by 3 means you divide it by 3 and you get an even number, right? You don't get a decimal. Not an even number, you just don't get a decimal. So your first one would be one before that. 3, then 6, and then 9, 12, 15, 18. Perfect. Then divisible by 5. What would be your first one that's divisible by 5? 5, 10, 15. Now we need divisible by 3 and 5. And would be, we could represent this by A and B. So what's in A and in B? 15, that's it. Then we want divisible by 3 or 5. So A or B means more. So A has 6, B has 3, so at minimum when it's an OR, I'm going to have 6, right? Because you have, when it's an OR, you are either the same as your biggest set or more, correct? And when it's AND, you're either the same as your littlest set or less, because it has to be in both, or it has to be in either or. So I know my biggest set is 6, so I know A or B is going to have 6 or more, okay? So let's go through and say what we have. So we have 3, we have 5, 6, 9, 10, 12, 15, 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We actually have 8 now, which is good. It's more than 6. Because A covered everything except for 5 and 10, right? So we had to add those to it. Because or is more. And it's in either or, we list it. Okay? Now we're going to do it as a Venn diagram. So a good Venn diagram has the right amount of circles for sets you have, and it's boxed in a square. So we're looking at set A and set B. So we have 2 circles. Now what you need to decide are these sets disjoint or not? If they're disjoint, it means they have nothing in common, correct? So if they're disjoint, you're going to have one circle over here, one circle over here, and they won't overlap. We agree? We've already looked at this. Is there anything that's in A and B? Yes. What is in A and B? 15. We agree? So there's overlap, is there not? So we're not going to draw 2 separate circles. We're going to draw 2 circles with an overlap because there's actually overlap. They're not disjoint. Disjoint means 2 circles, no overlap. but we have some overlap, so we're going to draw it with 2 circles overlap. So we put a box, always, and then we draw 1 circle, and then another one with overlap, and that's A, and that's B. And the reason why we draw the box is the box contains the universal set. Everything in the box is all the numbers in the universal set. So when I'm done with this Venn diagram, I should have the numbers 1 to 19 on it. Some of them will be outside the circles, right? Because they're not in A or in B. But they still have to be in the box, because the box contains all the universal set. So numbers 1 to 19 have to appear on here somewhere. Okay? We always start off with the middle. What is in the middle? What do they share in common? 15. So we're going to put 15 in the middle. And that is an eyeball shape. Do you see that? The eyeball shape? The eyeball is always, see, it can be made into an eyeball. That's always the and. So it's the overlap, right? Your and is your overlap is the eyeball is the and. Okay? Then your A circle has to contain everything in A. I already have what in A? 15. So I'm not going to list it again. It's already in A. It just happens to also be in B. Okay? So I'm not going to list my 15 again. I'm going to put a little dot behind it. They often put dots if it's numbers, because if not, like 3 and 6, if I put them side by side, it's going to look like 36, and it's not 36, it's 3 and 6. So I'm going to list all of the A things except for 15. It's already listed. So I'm going to go 3, 6, 9, 12, 18. I don't have to list 15 because it is in A already, correct? It just happens to also be in B. So when I go to list B, what am I going to put in B? But B only, just that moon shape. 5 and 10, because I already have 15 in here. Now, I told you, every universal set number needs to appear in this Venn diagram at some point. We've already done all the circles, no more can fit in there, correct? But the rest of the numbers can be contained within the Venn diagram, they're just not in the circles. So you can float it around the whole thing if you want. I just run it along the bottom, but you can put them randomly all over the place if you'd like. So what am I going to put in here? Well, I need the numbers 1 to 19, and if they're already listed, I don't list them, right? So 1 isn't an A or B, so it's outside. 2 isn't an A or B, so it's outside. 3 is, 4 isn't, 5 is, 6 is, 7 isn't, 8 isn't, 9 is, 10 is, 11 isn't listed, 12, 13 isn't listed, 14 isn't listed, 15 is, 16, 17, and 19. So now I should have, if I go count, I should have 1 to 19 in somewhere in this box, because that's the universal set. Does that make sense? Okay. So we're going to do some shading on that paper that you have in front of you. So grab the paper that's in front of you, we're going to do some shading. And then we're going to come back to these Venn diagrams down here. If you don't have highlighters and you want 2 colored highlighters, you can come grab them and just bring them back after. You can borrow some from me. It does help the situation. So we're going to look at all the different variances of A and B. Like I said, if you want 2 highlighters, you can come grab them. Go ahead. So we go. Here's my Venn diagram. I'm going to draw an A and a B because I need to label them, and I have the box. Okay? I want you to shade A. Shade what you think is A. So draw it, shade it. Like I said, if you want to use a highlighter, you can borrow them. Now some people will be like, hey, Lepp, that's stupid, that's really easy. It's not. Some people shade the correct part, some people shade just the moon. Remember, did I say A only or did I say A? I have an A, right? A only would be A only. I'm going to sneeze. This happened in period 2 and then it went away. It's gone again. Okay. You don't want me to sneeze. It's like a tsunami. It's so loud and the world shakes. It's a real problem. So if I can not, that'd be great. Okay. So we want A, not A only. So A is this. Here's, ooh, that's an aggressively large highlighter. So A is this circle, correct? Is that the A circle? Then I just do this. Boom, I shaded A. That's it. So that should encompass all the stuff in A, which it would have, right? We had A before. It would cover all the letters. Okay? If only it stayed just like this, but it will change. So, let's draw another one. I want you to shade not A. Or that one. Shade not A. Okay, what's the easiest way to shade not A? Well, I circle A. And then I say everywhere but there. So what some people are doing is you're just shading B. Is that all of not A? Not A is just not that circle. So what can I do? I'll just box the whole thing. And I want what's not in A. So some people forgot the outside. So any elements that would be out here, I would list, right? So that was literally everything but what was in A. I would list all the rest of the elements. All right, new one. Shade there. And is what shape? If it's just A and B. It's the eyeball. It's the part that's in between, correct? So A and B, where is A and B overlap? Just here. Now I want A or B. So remember with or, if it's in either or it's in both, I list it. Or is everywhere, right? Easiest way to do or shadings is I actually just shade each one separately. So I go like this. Okay, I'm going to shade A in yellow. Pretend that's inside the circle. And then I'm going to shade B in blue. And then anywhere it's shaded counts, correct? So it's actually the whole snowman. People are like, how's that a snowman? Or is the snowman? Because even a two-circle snowman is a snowman. Watch. Still a snowman. Now some people try and not count the middle. If you took the middle of this snowman out, it would just collapse and be a pile of snow. It's not a snowman, right? So that's why the middle still counts. Or is like anywhere there's shading, I count. Correct? Because if it's in one or the other, I keep it. So or is actually the easiest to find because you can shade each of the letters separately and then just wherever it's shaded, we're good. Okay? So we're going to try ands here first, some harder ands. Ready? Thinking caps. Major thinking caps. No sleepy time, no cell phones, thinking caps. Because I don't want to lose anyway. All right? We are going to do A and not B. Now you're like, what the heck is that? A and not B. Now, and means where they both are, correct? It's where they both exist. We agree with that statement? So the way I do these is I will shade them separately and then look for the doubled up color. So I'm going to start with yellow first. I'm going to shade A as yellow. Okay? So I'm going to go to A and I'm going to shade it. We agree? Then I'm going to shade B in blue. That's why I said if you want to use two highlighters, you can go ahead. I'm going to shade not B, sorry, in blue. So I'm going to go to B. And then what I'm going to say? Not in there, correct? When it's not, you just go ahead, shade the outside, and then we're going to shade everywhere. Voila. I'm just coloring. Would you like to?
I can do that.
You color.
Yeah.
You want to try?
I might not stay alive, but it'll get filled in.
I'm not. Beggars can't be choosers, right?
Tell my email if you need me.
I'll keep that. I told him he could. Did you see he asked and then left. It's like, hey, do you need me to clean out your dishwasher? And you're like, yeah, sure. And then they're like, okay, cool. And they just like walk away. Don't. That's what you just did to me right there. It's fine. I won't take it personally. All right. So do you see how I just shaded A in yellow and then I shaded not B in blue? That's all I did. I did nothing crazy here. Do you see that? Okay. Now, because it's an and, I'm going to actually draw the and. This is like a middle step to get me to the and. So I shaded it. You see how I just shaded separately? Now, the actual Venn diagram for A and B naught is where they both exist. Where do they both exist? Yellow and blue make what? Green. I know you all know this. Yellow and blue make green. So wherever the green is where they doubled up, correct? So where does A and not B both exist? In that green section. So just here. Only here. So we do each of the letters separately, and then we just keep the overlap. That's it. We keep the green. Okay? When we did sets in numbers, we would go to each set and we just list the ones that were the same numbers, correct? But on a Venn diagram, we'll do each separately and then we just keep where they both exist, where they overlap, where they turn green. All right? What is up with teachers today? My class it's so hot in here. Maybe that's everyone's just cold.
Hot here. We're actually cold because I turned the air conditioning.
Yeah, air conditioning. What's that? What if I give you this? That's like a grade, I don't know, 8? September07? We learn about straight lines being 180 degrees. Okay, friends, this is my next one. Are you ready? If you're not ready, you're going to be anyways. Okay, so we have not A and B. So what are we going to shade separately? The complement of A in one color, correct? B in another color, correct? And what are we going to keep because there's an intersection between them? Where they overlap. So in my case, yellow and blue, I'm going to keep where they turn to green. We agree? Okay, you try it. So I'm going to shade not A in yellow. So how do I do not A? I go to A, I circle it. And when it's a not, I go out and also circle the box. And then I shade everything not in A. Then, take my blue and I shade B. Where does the green exist? Right there, correct? So that's the only thing that should be shaded. So I go redraw it. You could just erase. You could do it and then erase, but I'm lazy. So I'm going to just draw it. And I only keep the green, and the green is here. That's the only thing that should be shaded. We agree? Try one more and then we're going to go to ors. Ors are easier. Okay, I want you to try this one. Not A and not B. Give you a minute. So, not A, I'm going to make yellow. It's a not. So what do? I circle the A. I circle, then I shade the box. And then do everywhere but not A. Then I go to B, not B. Circle B, box. Where is it green? On the outside, right? Where does not A and not B exist? On the outside. Makes sense. Shade everywhere but the circle. That is not great shading, but you get the point. Okay, what about ors? Ors are easy. Because ors, if it's in one or the other, we keep it, correct? So actually, if we didn't take the overlap, everywhere we've shaded so far, we've done all the ors. The ors are just, you shade them each separately and then you're done. Wherever they're shading, single shading or double shading, we count. Because if it's in one or the other, we keep it. So ors are actually easier. And we have to keep where it changes to green. Ors, we literally just keep anywhere we shade. So if I did like not A or B, let's say, I can actually do them in the same shading color. I could use one highlighter the whole time. And why could I do that? Because it doesn't matter where I shade. Wherever I shade stays. Correct? So I could do them both in yellow if I wanted to. So not A. Not A is here. So I go circle. And then I go A. And then I shade not A. And because it's an or and I'm a rebel, I'm not changing colors. If it lets me. So where's B? Circle B. And shade it. shaded my B, right? And I'm done. That's it. That's or. Do you get what I'm saying? I could have done it in a totally different color. I could have went and done this. I'll show you. It only works with ors that you can use one color. So I could do not A. Oops. I didn't realize I had the aggressively thick highlighter. And then I could do B in blue. And it's still everywhere that's shaded, so it's still just this piece not shaded, right? So you could do it in two different colors, but it's still this piece not shaded. So you see with and, you have to do in two colors and keep where they overlap. We agree? But or you can just do in one color, because it's wherever it shades. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm going to get you guys to try this one. I'll do one of these, then we're going back to the notes. Try that one. Okay, so I'm going to use pink the whole time. So I'm going to do not A. So not A. I need letters though. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to do not A. So not A means I circle A and the box. And then I shade not A. Okay, then I can keep the same color because it's an or. Then I say not B. So I circle B. And then I do outside of B. Sometimes it's easier for people to visualize if they use different colors. So the only thing not shaded is the insert, the inside or the middle, right? Does that make sense? So I would list everything that's outside that middle. Okay, go back to the notes. So I want the number of elements in A and B. We're going back to the same numbers we had before. Remembering that A was was what was divisible by 3, B was what was divisible by 5, and the outside was all the rest of the numbers. We agree? So I want what's in A and B. So I have 3, 6, 9, 12, 18, 15, 5, 10, 1, 2, 4, 7, 8, 11, 13, 14, 16, 17. We agree? Where would I shade if it asks for A and B? Just where the 15 is. Yeah. So how many elements are in A and B? How many elements is 15? Just one. It's the number 15. And here we have now I want you to shade where A is. Everyone shade A. And then tell me how many elements are in A. We're on the second Venn diagram. So shade A. And then list how many elements there are in A above n of A. So A is this whole thing, not just the moon. The whole circle is A. So how many are in A? 6. Then we're going to flip over. We still have the same numbers, so I'm going to put them in. Oops. I want you to do this one and this one. Shade where it's in A or B. Tell me how many elements. Shade B. Tell me how many elements. Shade and tell the number of elements. Okay, if I want A or B, it's straightforward, there's no knots, then it's just the snowman. So it's going to be all of this, including the snowman's stomach, so it's not just a big pile of snow on the ground. So that gives us how many? How many elements? 8. Then we do the number of elements in B. So B, it doesn't say B only, it says B. So we have to do the whole B circle. So how many elements is that? 1, 2, 3. Then we have these. Okay, so we want what's in A and not B. So if I wanted to off to the side, I could do my little shading, right? Because it's an and, I'm going to take where they both double shade. So I could do this off to the side and do like a little shade myself and then pick where they double shade. After you do these enough, a lot of people just start memorizing where they are. But that's okay. Or that's helpful, I mean. So if I do my highlighter, I'm going to shade A. That's this one. And then I'm going to shade not B. And they double shaded in this little area, the little moon, right? So that's the part I'm going to shade. I was walking around and a lot of people were doing it correctly, so that's good. Okay, so that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if I can write with a highlighter. There's 5. Okay. Then not A, I just go to A and I say not today. So not an A. So I circle around A and I circle the box when it's the complement, remember? So how many is that? There's 11 down here, 12, 13. And then we have our bottom two, so there's 13 there. Everywhere should be shaded but the A. Oh, these are errored. Look, this is an N, that is an N. Do you see that? Do these have N's? So the answer is not 5. The answer should be 3, 6, 9, 12, 18. That's my oops. And what should this one be? It doesn't have an N. So it should be 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 11, 13, 14, 16, 17, 19. Because it doesn't have the N, right? It wants you to state what the things are. That's my oopsie. So you actually have to state the numbers. Then this one is not A and not B. I gotta put my numbers in. I just want to finish these ones up. And then we can do this. So this is 15. This is 3, 6, 9, 12, 18, 5, 10. So this one I want what's in not A and not B. So when you go to shade that, you actually end up shading, it only double shades on the outside, right? You're not going anywhere this week, so you might as well just write these down, unless you're think you're bolting. 7, 8, 11, 13, 14, 16, 17, and 19. And then this one wants not A or B, so I can just shade not A first. And then I can shade B. All in the same color because it's or. Right? And then this one I don't list the sets because it says N. So it's going to be 1. This is 11, 12, 13, 14. And that's it.